genuinely asking you a question. Why do you all make yourself sick? And it's not many of you, but the majority of you who believe in the Hanta virus and whatever else, because many of you are looking into it. Why are you looking into what is making you sick right now? It's like many of you want a pandemic or a psychological operation that keeps you locked down because many of you have a bum mentality. Many of you have such a poor mindset. You have no transcending efforts to make your life better to where if this lockdown was to ever happen, what are you going to be doing 24/7? You're going to be in your home over consuming food, scrolling all fucking day, playing on your PC or your game console, and just wasting energy on pixels, on trafficked children, and men and women, inverted beings on top of that. So it's like all of you, majority of you, only want this to happen so that it can benefit you, but it's going to be a hindrance towards your career, towards your future, really towards your purpose if you ever created one. And this is the problem right here. Many of you want mind control to be in your household. It's like motherfuckers don't understand that everything is connected through this false grid of archonic warfare that you and I are going up against when it comes down to what our higher self loves to reject. But many people's egos are going to accept this mindless, I would say, injection of what they want to alter. It's the same spin cycle year after year. Not only just that, why did the same virus happen 33 years ago? Out of all the numbers, 33 years ago, and what does that mean if you're talking about the occult? Higher, let's say you're in a higher initiation into Freemasonry, rebirth cycles, transformation, and it's another one too. But all these different key points that these beings are throwing at you is the reason why many of you are connected into going into these offices to get injected so you can feel protected. It's like, no, you just made yourself more and more sick, and you just cursed your own bloodline by you thinking as if you can be protected. Stop complying to their mind control. Stop complying to their psychological agenda that's meant to trap your mental blueprint. This shit never existed. It's like many of you are watching the case studies. Many of you are going on the internet and you're believing what they're feeding you. They're feeding you your own fear and you keep on accepting it because you don't know what the hell's going on for real. Your mind does not know what a sickness is, so why do you keep on accepting these sicknesses outside of your temple? I mean, when you move in love, what the hell is getting sick? How do advanced civilizations, how does an advanced mind allow itself to even feel that way? So where you're running and saying, okay, this injection will help heal me, but you don't really know what the hell's happening internally. That's why many of you have been lost since 2020 and before then. And the same shit is happening, and many of you are just like, oh, I'm scared. This is gonna happen, everybody. We have to really be cautious of what's going on. It's just like, no, you're the reason for why this shit exists, because look what the fuck you're making up.
They want to discredit you for what?
Because I'm a dangerous man, because I know too much about the truth.
Now, that end of the world apocalyptic garbage, you right?
You know my work? I was right about Dallas, wasn't I?
How were you right?
Are you familiar with the hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
A plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting gooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know. The timetable has been set. It'll happen on a holiday when people are away from their homes. The president will declare a state of emergency, at which time all government, all federal agencies will come under the power of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, the secret government.
This was updated 11:05 a.m. April 29, 2025. And updated April 29, 2025. Betsy, the concert pianist who was married to actor Gene Hackman, died from the Hanta virus. So as you can see with the X-Files movie that came out in 1998, I could be wrong with that though, but as you can see, they're basically showing you predictive programming, and because they're releasing it to you again and again and again with the same exact message that people are going to basically accept as a new reality once again, who is the reason for accepting these viruses and bringing them into reality? Society. Human beings constantly will feed into these propaganda scripts, not realizing you are the producer for why the script is going a certain way to your liking or to your cadence. The infection that people put upon themselves is the reason why they don't know how to heal. And many people who find this new infection that literally was released 33 years ago, even in the X-Files, go watch that, the movie 1998, but people will think as if this new virus or whatever called the Hanta virus and whatever else is a detriment to our life. People are, from what I'm noticing, people are looking into the scripts of what media outlets are telling them. Excuse me. And once again, this is what the scientists, for example, the scientists that get paid to lie to you, and even the news media as well, I mean, they're displaying another name that infects you. And that this is what's so, it's so funny, I don't even want to laugh anymore, because this just proves that almost not every human being, but majority of society, they are slow. People don't realize you get sick by believing or obsessing over the name. I'm gonna get into that key point later on, but I just want to give just a backdrop of where my mind is today. And it's raining outside. And did you become mindful today? Did you sit with yourself and just do your hand mudra, and did you signal yourselves to become activated in a higher state of being aware or in awareness? Have you done that today? Have you consumed some water today? Did you eat? And the thing is, you don't have to eat, but I'm saying, if you didn't eat, are you fasting for a reason, or you just don't have food in your kitchen? Which one is it? Because if you got food and you still choose not to eat, are you being disciplined, or are you just choosing not to eat? There are many different situations that can get the mind to decide on what it wants to do with itself. But my thing is, my question for you is, have you worked on you today? And it doesn't matter if you're new to this channel, new to this community. For one, welcome. Welcome to another reminder of how to remain in prosperity. Because sickness does not exist in my dimension, at least, in my world at least, because from my perception, I don't know what it is to get sick. Of course, the thoughts of others and the sickening that people place upon themselves can attract to me, for sure. But that's how the game has to go. That's why I do my best to stay far away from people who are contaminated. There's no way that us as advanced beings, wise entities, get sick. How? How? And if you explain that to me, you're just going to simply lie into what you were taught to say. You teach yourself what to say. That's why you think as if you can get sick by the words that are being said by illusionists. Realizing that the X-Files, because I want to sit and look to you. I want to sit like we're having a one-on-one conversation. The X-Files released a movie in 1998, and one of the guys was talking about the Hanta virus and whatnot, and that confirmed everything I needed to know. And then I'm seeing so many different people who are, they're being boisterous about the cruise ship incident and the people who got injured or died or whatever, and how it's being spread to different continents, different countries and states. As I'm seeing these videos of people once again regurgitating the same exact cycle, I'm guilty of it as well. But my thing is, I'm going to attack this head on, because in 2020 I wasn't really aware. I wasn't really even on YouTube doing what the hell I'm doing right now. So we're not going to miss this opportunity, because if a pandemic does happen, many of you are going to see that as a positive. Many of you will see that as, you know, a benefit towards your life. You think as if being lazy, being away from your job is going to help you be successful, or help you be, or no, yeah, help you remain in satisfaction, because you don't have to go to your job anymore. You don't have to go to school anymore. You can do online classes. So that's a perfect way for you to watch your favorite shows and binge watch them, your favorite movies, watch your favorite streamers, influencers. I mean, you have everything set in stone for you. But my thing is, what are you doing for you? Instead of worrying, that's the thing. Worry is infecting you. If you're worrying about a virus that cannot get sick, that's how I know you're sick. Did this Hanta virus ever come to you and say, hey, my name's Hanta virus, did it do that? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. So my thing is, how can you sit up here and look at this word and say, oh yeah, that's real? You know they're feeding you a... I want to use a different word. I want to expand my vocabulary, so just bear with me for a second. Other words for... Okay, other word for narrative. Fuck! My apologies. Okay, because I don't know if I want to use psychological script. I don't know if I want to use... You know what? Hold on, let me... Other... Because I don't like those words. Let's use... a tale. They're giving you a tale that people are only reading about. And in order for you to encounter that in the physical, why would you even want to encounter that in the physical? But the moment people encounter that, it now becomes a belief. And that is the thing. People are still stuck in belief systems, which to me is very alarming, and it's telling on where your focus goes. Because the moment your focus goes into a sickness, you already got sick. You already got it attached to you. Do not comply to their system. Do not get injected. Do not put that mask on. I mean, and the music is going to be it's like all this stuff that you're going to start seeing once again. It's the same foreshadowing of what happened 6 years ago, 33 years ago. And the thing is, too, 33 years ago was what? So when you understand how long ago that was, the same mimicry, the same imitation, why? That is a higher initiation into Luciferianism. So as the system is sitting here putting us in a spin cycle, they're basically saying through this rebirth cycle, do another transformation, another confirmation. Many people are going to be initiated into Luciferianism. They're going to be blind by their own enlightenment. They'll start joining the dark side of what false light is avoiding: accountability, leadership, honesty, authenticity. So as the year goes on, as the months just keep on going, many people will still say the same exact fucking topics. And the thing is, at this point, I don't want to be right anymore, because being right is exhausting. I'm honest every fucking day. I wish I could lie. That's why I don't feel any kind of way when the truth just says what it says. From this point forward, I promise on my life, the same topics you will find are going to be race wars, child pornography, and pedophilia, predators, killings, school shootings, celebrity worship, whatever the fuck that they're doing, politicians and the political environment and the government, war, a new celebrity, a new influencer, telling the youth how to get famous and what to do, how to be a clown, how to join Freemasonry, genetically engineered beings. Pedophilia will be normalized in the schools, in the churches, in the households, and it'll be frowned upon if you are not practicing it. More God worship, religion. I mean, at this point, alien invasions, Project Bluebeam, different swarm of insects, and whatever else, Bible stories. I mean, at this, people chasing clout. So basically, there is nothing new for people to do anymore. Spiritual influencers who are cosplaying as conscious or woke, motherfuckers still falling for the act. At this point, if you can't see the formula, you're done. You're lost. You lost. You are the reason for why you failed, because you still can't see that these failures are the reason for why you're so in tune with them. You're in tune with a bond that you yourself can't keep up with. That's why you're giving them your currency, your abundance. Because you have a poor mind. Only poor minds get sick. That's why the rich, we don't know what a sickness is. We don't know how it feels to feel in a low vibration, because why? We are coexisting with it, but we don't have to remain in that frequency. That's why we don't go to war. What is war? Motherfuckers talking about, I seen a video today that I reacted to, somebody, an old ass man talking about some, be prepared for Trump and his alien invasion, and they're going to come from the sky, and are they going to save us from the war in Iran, or are they going to govern us and make us think that they're our gods? I'm just like, there's no way. You have gray hairs in your beard, on top of your head, or whatever else. You're old as fuck. Nothing wrong with that. You're still young. You just look old compared to perception, or from the fallacy called life. And you're believing in Project Blue Moon and holographic light coding, basically. My thing is, why the fuck would an advanced replica of your future persona, your mask, why would you come down to the simulation and show yourself, for one, because you know humans cannot comprehend that vibration. Two, why would you govern us to where we think as if you are our God? Why would I sit up here and look up to myself so I can bow down to myself? Three, why in the hell do motherfuckers still not get that you cannot see your life correctly or with clarity? That's why you have to discern your internal dialogue. The external warfare that is going on is not yours. It's not yours to keep. It's not yours to survive in. It's not yours to work in. You are not here to work on anything, or to be lazy with anything, or to achieve anything. You're not here to do anything but be yourself, to love yourself again and learn what this is. You are here to learn how to love loving contradictions that can't love themselves, because human beings divide what's in one source. If you do not see that science is against us, religion, the school system, our own government, other continents, other nations, if you don't see that these higher echelon of parasitic bloodline mimics, if you don't see that these beings are always going to counter us with our own attacks, you missed the message. This warfare only is existing because you brought it into reality by giving it a terminology. Words kill. That's why you get sick once again. So I can get into it now. The one thing I realized, one thing that I ended up realizing, is that we have to be able to understand that fear is only going to affect humanity at a faster rate than a sickness is supposed to be doing or supposed to be acting as, because people's minds react before their body decides to contradict the things that are happening outside of itself. So the moment that people decide to tell themselves, you know what, I'm going to watch my reaction as I'm reading this article, as I'm reading what the media is putting out, because at this point, our own system admitted to what they do to children, and people still are going to believe in narratives like this. Did you not learn from 2020 or last year or these previous years? Have you not learned anything in life? The system tells you what they're doing, and they also lie while doing it, and then you're the reason for why it's done. Do you not see that cycle by now? Mind, body, spirit. At this point, they're attacking your mind by entering into your body. That's when your spirit starts descending into being unconscious again, because you're feeding into their ideologies that they get from you. They're watching you on these media sites. That's why they send agents that put out premeditated psychological operations. Somebody in 2021, or no, I think it was 2019, it was 1 year, but they predicted or COVID basically, they predicted it. And then the same thing with the Hanta virus, or whatever the fuck this shit's called. So as I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh no, this is just somebody who understood what's happening with the script, and they're just basically telling people, and they're going to private the account and then delete that account, or just keep it up and never activate it again, because they got people's attention. So when people constantly say, whoa, did they just foreshadow that? Did they speak that into existence? How are they able to see into the future? It's just like, what do you mean? They're literally telling you what the media has been showing you. Movies been telling you, books been telling you, science has been telling you about what they're going to do to you. Because why? They're telling you about your ways, your behavior. Your behavior is the reason for why this new age virus is coming into works. The one thing that I was also looking into is that, from what I noticed, is that humanity will create conditions through suffering, pollution, stress, artificial living, disconnection from nature, their higher self, not eating well, so eating unhealthy foods. And this is when a lot of times their ego will search for something external to blame. So every time people start creating these unhealthy conditions, they'll always say, oh, it was the devil that made me do it. It was this person. Or no, it was this man that did it. It was this woman that did it. It's like majority of people will never sit down with themselves. And that's what I'm saying. Because we're always on the move, right or wrong. The moment you wake up, do you not have shit to do? Exactly. You have to, the moment you get up, you don't really have time to think. That's why you have to sit still for a bit. Stop rushing into the day. Stop expecting what the day is going to be. No. Simply enjoy your day right now. Enjoy it. Every millisecond, have a better thought. Even if your external is fucked up, even if you can blame anybody outside of you, take care of you. Do not let yourself be the biggest blame of your regret. Because when you get older, those people that harmed you and did all these things to you will cease to exist. But all that there will be is your awareness. What you gonna do? Keep on bringing them up when fucked up situations happen in your later years? You can't blame them anymore because they're not in your life right now. All you have is you once again. So who is to blame for everything that you decided to bring into your life before you became a human? Talking motherfuckers living in this victim mentality, talking about some, it's not my fault, I didn't ask to be here, I didn't ask for all this and that. You're wrong. Stop lying to yourself. I know that you want somebody to be the focus point of what has been done to you. You can say, hey, you did this to me, I blame you for what. Before you were born, you already knew what the fuck was going to happen, and you agreed to that. You agreed to put the virtual headset on, and you're now watching what you're playing in. You decided to do that shit. Then you want to blame the fucking system. Bitch, you are the system. They put their trust in you. It's on your dollar bill. I am that I am. The next one, I understood as well that society will give a terrifying name or a Greek mythology name or mythological name or a fear-mongering tactic or a mechanism that becomes a name. And then millions will unconsciously feed into this energy because they're obsessed with it, they're panicking, and emotionally they're attached to what has happened in 2020. So basically, from 2020 till now, they've always had people on edge to where every single day, and I witnessed this shit, every single day, people are talking about what COVID did and what COVID has done and what COVID is still doing. And yet, here you go again. Here people go again bringing up something like this, another virus. It's like, there you go with your sick mentality. And so when it does manifest into society once again, and many of you are going to be homeschooled and shit, many of you are going to have babies and shit, it's like we have to coexist with you. Look at what you collectively came up with, and now we have to sit up here and follow stupidity. We don't have to follow it, but we simply observe what stupidity made up. And it's real now, because many people don't realize that you are the gamer creating what the game starts. You can end this shit right now by not putting your emotions towards it. But wait a minute, that's too hard for an emotional being that cannot have accountability or confidence in what they keep being weak with. The next one, when you are conscious, you will always contradict everything and you will question everything. You will always contradict everything, you will always question everything. When you do that, you will know whether this contagion is real or not. How can you get sick? What gets sick, you or your identity? And if you are not the identity, what is sick? What's a sickness? What is sickening? Did the first sickness ever know it was sick? Or did a human being implant that program into the title to where somebody adopted that and then practiced it? How do we know what getting sick is when getting sick never was sick? At this point, as I realized that it's not even physical, but I'll talk about that on Patreon because I already know. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get strikes. So I'm really making sure I can speak in a different lane and whatever else. But People had to question if it's real or physical, or if it's physical or artificial. And they had to also ask themselves too, is my fear, the repetition I'm digesting on the media, and is my psychological repetition pattern shaping how I view reality? When you ask yourself these questions, that name and the way people are going to operate and the way you see people move will not affect you. So when you go out in society and people are asking you questions or questioning you, they're checking you. Why don't you got a mask on? Why aren't you protecting yourself? Excuse me, sir, you can't enter if you don't got a mask. It's like you have two choices. Either you walk out, go find a different store, or you walk in, you play the game, but then you look around and you just mind your business, do what you gotta do, and then take the fucking mask off or whatever the fuck else, put your groceries in the car, you going about your day. You don't have to sit up there and be quarantined, because when that pandemic hit in 2020, nigga, I was still outside doing what the fuck I wanted to do, going to malls, stores, and all that. And then some. It was like the shit only happened when I was in college. And once that happened, it was because I actually believed that this shit really was real. And that was the whole point of what somebody told me in my earlier TikTok page. When they were, I don't know, that was a Secret Service agent. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I never talked to that person again. But they told me about my future, and that shit came true. Like, if I had that person's contact again, I would ask them, like, how are you doing? Because how the hell did you know that? That's how I know this shit is just manifested. It's basically just initiated into people's frontal lobe. And many of you still have not had your frontal lobe developed. And many of you don't get it to work. That's exactly why this spiritual shit does work beyond this realm. All these things are curated by a lower force that thinks highly of themselves. That's why they had to attack your inner child. This shit is basically an attack on your inner child, because you fear what you think gets sick. Imagine thinking that a human being can get sick. What the fuck is that? We have a healer. I'm looking at the healer right outside. Why do we have a hospital when nature is the cure? You have a cure outside of your home and in your home, in your mind, and yet you're looking for an outlet to help heal you from what can't get sick? That's an oxymoron to me. Now, the thing is, too, as we consciously still remain in awareness, we're not going to sit up here and say a sickness does not exist, because physically, biologically, these things do affect people. People actually die. But statistically, why would they give you the accurate depiction of people that are dead when death can't die? We have to always be in realization and go through introspection with the thought of realizing that our body, our mind, and our environment and the collective unconsciousness and consciousness is the biggest influence upon human health when it comes together. So once you realize that the collective society, the way that they think and move in their environment is the reason for why these theologies, these terms come to life. Because people had to sit with each other, congregate together, and talk about and gossip about the things that they go against, or that their spirit is technically going against. But physically, they are with the sickness. They love it because they want to feel like they're a part of something. People are waiting for another viral hit. That's all this shit is. It's nothing but a trigger towards your dopamine receptors. And people still cannot perceive why chemical reactions are creating reality as what it never could be. Motherfuckers are orchestrating a simulation, and niggas don't realize you are getting sick by a code. Imagine a coder coding a game to where they're getting sick in the fucking game, and then they're programming other beings to be sick just like them. Oh my God, like, if you're using this pandemic or this lockdown, if it happens, as an excuse to be a bum, you're a loser, you're a failure. Motherfucker, I don't want to work. I can't wait for a lockdown. You don't want to work on your purpose. This is another opportunity for you to better yourself and to be the highest value man and woman that you always could have been. And many of you still are afraid to take a chance because you're opening up your mind to a black mirror that displays facades. I mean, not only do the top of the pyramids project what life never could be, but now you're letting dark frequencies tell you and dictate and rewire your neurological structuring to where you think as if another virus is going to tell you about the life you're going to start living in again, you are putting your head in the sand. You are stuck in a washing machine and a dryer, and you still can't see the cycle clearly. Peaceful awakening, prosperous rising, and divine opportunities and loving mirage to all entities watching this mindful message. It's your divine reflection, a contradicting observation, and we are back with another message that never happened. I love you all. I'm about to go watch some Hell's Paradise before work, and I'm going.